Tanse, good morning or good afternoon from wherever you are. I'm Creeson Agecoutay. Welcome to APTN National News. Thank you for joining us. A man from the Dakota Teepee First Nation in southern Manitoba has died after he was fatally stabbed. It happened in the early hours of Sunday morning in Winnipeg. At around 3:55 a.m., the Winnipeg Police Service responded to a serious assault in the northern west end of the city. 36-year-old Kennedy Elk was transported to hospital in critical condition after being stabbed and was later pronounced deceased. Officers arrested 34-year-old Ryan Meaches, who is charged with second-degree murder. Elk was a member of the Dakota Teepee First Nation but was living in Winnipeg. Police are asking anyone with information on the incident to contact investigators at 204-986-6508 or send an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers at 204-786-8477. The Ontario Federation of Indigenous Friendship Centres recently wrapped up its 55th annual general meeting in Sault Ste. Marie. It was at that meeting that the issue of underfunding was discussed, along with the current role of friendship centres and how they serve communities across the country. Our new APTN reporter, Mike McDonald, has the story.
The Indigenous Friendship Centre in Sault Ste. Marie has been around since 1972. Its current executive director, Cathy Surrett, has been working at the centre for 39 years. In that time, she's seen big changes to the programming that is offered. She says the current challenges experienced at the local level are happening at friendship centres across Canada.
Friendship centers do have their work cut out for them. You know, I've been the executive director here since 2010, and again, you know, the mental health and the addictions are taking over in our communities.
In addition to offering legal services, family and elder support, and various cultural programs, Surrett says the issue of food insecurity and homelessness comes up frequently.
125 lunches twice a week, and they disappear. You know, and so that food insecurity in our community is high.
Serving the lunch every Tuesday and Thursday. I also assist the community with things like hygiene kits, protein packs, deli kits. We'll also do things like we'll help with first and last month's rent, anything we can do to prevent homelessness.
Surrett says the issue of underfunding of friendship centres has been taken up with senior levels of government. She adds friendship centres are critical lifelines to Indigenous people and that a predictable funding source is essential. Mike McDonald, APTN National News, Sault Ste. Marie.
A Superior Court of Canada ruling on the Robinson Treaties has been touted as good news by leadership in the Robinson-Huron area. Last Friday's landmark decision stated that the Crown violated treaty obligations, including annual payments that have been frozen for nearly 150 years. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has more.
Two simple words, keep Kinaga, amen.
Robinson-Huron Treaty First Nation leaders say there's a feeling of vindication over the recent ruling from the Supreme Court of Canada on appeals made by the Government of Ontario in the treaty's annuity case.
The purpose of the lawsuit was to restore the treaty relationship, ensure the sustainability of the Lake Huron-Nishnabek, strengthen the communities, and to ensure the Crown accords the Nishnabek the respect that is foundational between treaty partners.
Since 1875, the $4 annuity payments to treaty members in exchange for Crown land resources have remained unchanged.
We want to thank all of our people for being so resilient and being so patient in suffering the negative consequences from delayed justice.
$10 billion in retroactive pay was settled earlier this year, and negotiations for a new yearly pay structure is coming in the near term.
We believe we should immediately begin meaningful negotiations to implement the decisions of the courts of Canada and Ontario.
The Supreme Court affirmed that changes to the annuity is a constitutionally protected right, while Robinson-Huron leaders say they're prepared for those conversations with the Crown. A specific dollar amount was not given.
Although $10 billion is a lot of money, the value of the treaty augmentation promise going forward is much more significant.
Meanwhile, a federal Crown Indigenous Relations spokesperson says, "We welcome the Supreme Court of Canada's July 26th decision, which provides clarity on the treaty promise made in the Robinson-Huron Treaty and the Robinson-Superior Treaty. We believe that the best way to address outstanding issues and achieve reconciliation with Indigenous peoples is through negotiation and dialogue." Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
A new mobile healthcare clinic led by the Aboriginal Health and Wellness Centre in Winnipeg is hoping to close the gaps in accessing health services for the unhoused community. Sav Jonesa was there for its debut and brings us this story.
What was once an ambulance for saving lives is now a mobile clinic for improving them. And it's hitting the streets of downtown Winnipeg to bring healthcare services to those who might not have access otherwise.
There is an undeniable gap in healthcare services that has been plaguing our community for many years. And we at the Indigenous-led Aboriginal Health and Wellness Centre of Winnipeg are honored and proud beyond words to deliver the city's first ever mobile healthcare and wellness clinic.
Liza Pacheco is the director of the Mobile Healthcare and Wellness Clinic, which will provide primary care and addiction services. She says systemic barriers like discrimination prevent many people experiencing homelessness from feeling safe to go to regular hospitals or clinics for treatment.
So then they will sacrifice their own health and sort of stay away and suffer on their own.
The mobile clinic will travel to identified hot spots like encampments and shelters throughout downtown, bringing with them a customized, informed service with hopes of reaching as many people as they can.
Aboriginal Health and Wellness Centre is steadfast in our belief that individuals have the most important say in their own health care. As such, we have listened to the voices of the people right here in our community who often struggle to access basic health care. To our community members and relatives, we hear you, we got you, and we're coming to you. We're going to meet you exactly where you're at.
The mobile clinic team is comprised of physicians, nurses, mental health crisis workers, an Indigenous social planner, and peers with relevant lived experiences. The Indigenous social planner will connect individuals to things like community sweat lodges and moon ceremonies, services the clinic says are critical to clients' healing journeys. Tasha Massasar is a nurse for the mobile clinic.
Okay, so we have some medications, antibiotics, creams, analgesics, painkillers. We have our AED. This is actually our crash cart bag. So we have Narcan, we have Epi, we have things if there's an emergency.
Massasar says the space is non-judgmental.
To be honest, I'm primarily most excited about helping people that really need help, that avoid going to various places to get the help. I'm so happy to be going to the people.
The idea for the clinic came from feedback during community outreach vaccinations for COVID-19, when clients shared that they had difficulty even being allowed to enter healthcare buildings. Manitoba's health minister, Uzoma Asagwara, says supporting endeavors like these are exactly what the provincial government should be doing.
We are super proud to be supporting organizations who do life-saving work in community and meeting people where they're at. We know that there are many challenges that folks in our communities are facing, and it's crucial that as a government we support harm reduction, that we support improving access to primary care, and that's what this really is about.
The AHWC Healthcare and Wellness Clinic will be on the road every Tuesday to Saturday. Sav Jonesa, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
An inspiring leader and beloved Indian residential school advocate has passed away. Garnet Agecoutay was pivotal in the movement to secure compensation for Indian residential school survivors and the apology from the Government of Canada in 2008. Agecoutay was from Lac Seul First Nation in Northern Ontario. At the age of 7, he was forced by the Government of Canada to go to Pelican Lake Indian Residential School. A statement from the Anishinaabe Aski Nation said Agecoutay, quote, showed us how to turn anger into a voice for justice. His legacy is a roadmap to guide us towards reconciliation. In 1985, he became the first Indigenous person to be elected councillor in the town of Sioux Lookout. Among his many accolades, Agecoutay was invested into the Order of Canada in 2012. He passed away on July 25th at the age of 69. Star Wars in Anishinaabe-Moin language. We'll tell you more about that story when we return. Welcome back. The Anishinaabe-Moin language will soon be making its debut in an iconic movie from the big screen. Star Wars: A New Hope was recently translated into Anishinaabe-Moin. So what was that like for some of this team behind the project? T.R. Wheatley went out to find out and brings us the story.
Amazing language project. And with such an iconic movie as Star Wars: A New Hope, and as we know it now, Anagung Migating.
Teresa Aishin of Little Grand Rapids is the Anishinaabe Okimakwes Princess Leia. She recalls getting the good news late at night.
Shot out of my bed like a cannon. I don't know, it just felt so running down the hallway saying, "I'm Princess Leia, I'm Princess Leia." And I must have looked crazy, I'm sorry. So it was so memorable.
Aishin studied the lines in English first to get into character.
Her voice, the way she says things, the way Carrie Fisher said them. And so that's how I went about it.
Ajuak Kapashisit voiced Han Solo. He too shared the same technique his fellow co-star used when voicing Anikgung Megating.
You know, the way that Harrison Ford has that intonation and the kind of the gravity in his voice that, like, when he talks, you listen. And so I spent a lot of time not even just watching Star Wars movies. You know, I just watch a lot of Harrison Ford. You know,
Kapashisit is an actor with ties to Moose Factory. He also works in language revitalization. When the time came to audition for the part, it was an easy choice because it combines his two passions in life.
When you're looking at how language evolves over time, like, you need these terminology to explore these things. So it was exciting to play with that and exciting to try some of that new language out. Yeah, it's a dream come true. It's kind of a dream job that you would always want to get, something like that.
A dream for so many, including the language duo Carrie Miller and Pat Niguans, who are behind the entire interpretation of Star Wars. They learned quickly that what translated on paper didn't always go as planned in the studio.
Sometimes we just scrap the original translation and come up with words that would fit the lip movements. So that's what you end up with. Phrases that will fit the lip movements.
But the result is when you play the film, like Carrie Fisher literally looks like she's speaking Anishinaabe.
Even more exciting, Pat's grandson is the voice of Luke Skywalker. And Jedi Muldrew is an Anishinaabe-Moin teacher from Lac Seul First Nation. This is also his first time dabbling into acting.
A little daunting to play such a big role. So,
but with a middle name like Jedi, it's clear he comes from a family of fanatics. He soon learned his character isn't much different than him in real life.
He starts out, he's just a really young guy, doesn't know his place or where he fits in, and then as he kind of gets going through the movie, he finds a little more confidence. That's how I felt doing the role too, and not being experienced as an actor. But I brought my experience as a teacher.
Like his character Darth Vader, the man behind the voice is also multifaceted. Dennis Chartrand of Duck Bay and Pine Creek also played a part in translation.
My grandchildren will be able to hear this into the future.
Words, he says, are beautiful and have a lot of impact.
We have a responsibility, not as a burden, but in a great way that we can keep moving our language forward, because there's so much to it, so much that that sometimes even language speakers don't realize how it connects us to the earth, to our creator, and to everything all around us. So you have to come up with some new words like lightsaber.
The project is a partnership between Disney, Lucasfilm, and APTN. It was funded by Heritage Canada. Anikgung Migating makes its world premiere in Winnipeg on August 8th. It will air on the new APTN Languages channel later this fall. T.R. Wheatley, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
Great to be a part of it.
We're always looking for your feedback or story ideas. Here's how you can continue the conversation. If you have a story you want to share, send us an email to news@aptn.ca. To read and watch our stories, go to www.aptnnews.ca. You can find us online on your favorite social media sites, including TikTok, LinkedIn, and X. And you can watch this newscast anywhere, anytime on YouTube. Make sure to hit the follow APTN News like or follow button to keep up to date on all your Indigenous news. Stick around, because coming up next we have an interview with Miss Indigenous Canada, who is from Northern Manitoba. We'll be right back. Over on the east side, Halifax 17, Charlottetown 24. Northern Quebec, Nuujiwak 15, La Grande River 20. St. Jovique 25, Saguenay 22. Southern Ontario, London 25, Sault Ste. Marie 21. Northern Ontario, Timmins 24, Big Trout Lake 25. Northern Manitoba, Churchill 21, Thompson 23. Winnipeg 25, Barons River 25 as well. Saskatoon 19, Yorkton 21. Stony Rapids 15, La Ronge 20. Northern AB, Fort Chipewyan 16, Peace River 16 as well. Red Deer 17, Lethbridge 25 in rain. Tofino 16, Kamloops 18. Prince Rupert 14, Prince George 16. Beaver Creek 17, Watson Lake 14. Yellowknife 17, Norman Wells 11. Inuvik 6, Colville Lake 5. Baker Lake 16, Cambridge Bay 5. And Iqaluit 7, Arctic Bay 5. A woman from Northern Manitoba has been crowned Miss Indigenous Canada this past weekend. Jessica McKenzie is a member of the Opaskwayak Cree Nation in Northern Manitoba and also has roots in the Paw. The pageant was held in Haudenosaunee territory of Six Nations of the Grand River in Southern Ontario, where a total of 26 Indigenous women competed for the crown. Mackenzie, who lives in Toronto, says she wants to use her platform to mentor Indigenous youth and strengthen her community ties by visiting as many Indigenous communities as she can. She joins me now from Toronto to talk more about her big win. Jessica, thank you for taking the time to chat with us. First off, congratulations on your big win. Can you tell us what it was like when they announced you as the winner?
Yeah, thank you so much, APTN, for allowing me to be here and to be speaking with all of you. So I've only been in one other pageant, and this was over a decade ago. So when I was on stage and they called my name, I actually didn't understand that I won. So I actually waited a little bit. And when they're all just like staring at me, I was like, wait, what, me? And they're like, yes, get out there. And when that happened, I saw everyone out in the audience. I saw my father, I saw my mother, I saw all my elders in the audience, and that just made me really emotional. So hopefully I was not an ugly crier, but I had to let out those emotions. I was just so proud, not only for my family, but for Opaskwayak Cree Nation.
Can you tell us some of the things you were judged on during this competition and how it's different from other pageants?
For sure. So this pageant is very different. It's the first ever Miss Indigenous Canada, and it was so beautiful that they actually chose 26 beautiful, strong, resilient Indigenous women from all across Turtle Island. So they flew in. I know that we were a little bit nervous, so we made sure that we smudged before and we prayed before. But as I said, it's not a beauty pageant. It's more around community involvement. It's more around their family, their cultures, their traditions, and even the workshops. We got to listen to the past Miss Indian world, and we got to hear her encouragements and her lovely words of motivation. And it was really just a full 3 days of really culture and community, as well as leadership and community involvement. So very different, but very beautiful as well.
What were all the reactions from your family in Opaskwayak and the Paw like when you won?
Yeah, so I'm still trying to go through my Facebook feed. It's a lot. It's very overwhelming, but in a good way. Opaskwayak Cree Nation was so happy, and as I said, it's not a me win, it's a community win. So congratulations to Opaskwack Cree Nation. This is your title. It was really their traditions, their ceremonies, their languages that brought us here today. So I really hope that they're back at home celebrating, eating some fry bread, going off right now, because it's a big win for them. But I saw that Chief and Council made a beautiful recognition and a thank you to myself, as well as the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs. So that was beautiful as well. So I'm really happy that I made them proud. And again, this is their win, so they should be proud as well.
Definitely nice to see a few shout outs from the leadership there. Can you tell us what do you want next? What do you want to do next with your title?
For sure. So it's a great question. I know it's only day 2, so hopefully I'll do everyone proud. But just going back to the speech that Miss Indian World gave, and it really did change my perspective on this title. So she said that this title is a spirit. We must learn how to feed her, how to grow her, how to water her, so she knows how to grow and learn all these great opportunities. So that's really what I hope to do, is go out into the different communities, inspire our Indigenous youth. And I have to also recognize that I grew up in Toronto. I am urban Indigenous, and I have one perception of how I live my life. So I really hope to actually bring back a number of the contestants, as we all have beautiful journeys, as we all have beautiful stories, as well as I want them to also shine, you know. In a very rare opportunity where I get to shine, I'm going to bring those around with me to come shine as well.
That's great. I'm looking forward to that. What is your message to other Indigenous youth out there after this big win?
Great question. And you know what? Throughout this entire journey, I'm a pretty anxious person. I get scared often, and it was really scary just going up on that stage, but I had to do it for my ancestors. And I know a lot of our youth also may deal with some mental health challenges. So my biggest piece of advice is love yourself. You know, just be proud of yourself, be proud to be Indigenous. When you love yourself, you respect yourself, and you want the best for yourself, and that's when good things come.
Jessica, thank you for taking the time to talk to us, and a big congratulations again, being this year's Miss Canada.
Thank you so much. Sorry, it still makes me so happy to hear, and I really appreciate yourself and everyone else's support and love.
Hi, hi.
Hi, hi.
And that's your midday newscast for this Tuesday, July 30th. Tomorrow we will have new Miss Universe Canada winner Ashley Collingbow from Enoch Cree Nation on the show to chat with us about making history yet again. Dennis Ward is also back for your evening newscast in a few hours. Make sure to join us then. From everyone at APTN National News, hi hi, miigwech, masicho. Thank you for watching.